Hey, what's up, guys? Y'all are having a good Friday. Let me just check the sound real quick. All right, cool. Yeah, hopefully this will be good enough. All right, cool. Let's get started then. And yeah, so I'm gonna go over Wednesday's trades from this week, similar to how I did last week. And I already put them together, fast forwarded through the stuff in between trades, and then we can watch the trades in live time. So we'll go ahead and do that. Alrighty, so starting off the day here on Wednesday, this is right when New York opens here. What the purple is I just have the purple over New York here, the first hour of it. What have we done? Well, there was a news event, and let's see on the I thought there was news. Yeah, it was the um, ADP non-farm employment, the one before the actual non-farm employment that was today. That was Wednesday, and that created this big doji candle with two big wicks on either side. Those kind of candles are great for scalp pulls to kind of give you an idea of what the investment of the move is in. So I just marked out the between the 706 and the -1 of that, and then I also have the higher time frame pull up here on the 30-minute on the top left. And we reached my target box up here, and then we reached the -1 up here. So we're hitting two different time frames of investments take profits. The way that I see it, we're hitting take profits of this lower time frame and this higher time frame both at once. So I'd be looking for a short, but I don't want to just blind short. I could just blind short the fib levels if I really have confidence, but I am deciding to wait for a little bit of confirmation. In this case, the way, as you'll see on range XV here, I was waiting for a little bit of a market structure shift here. You can see a market structure break, like it's already starting to break market structure. And then we had this channel was coming up. Like it looked impulsive on a 1 minute, but it looked very corrective on the XV. So I drew a channel for that. It broke down, took this low, took that low, and now it's coming to backtest the channel right on the kickback, like from the scalp pull from here to here, and then 3-4 kickback right on the back of the channel. So at this point, it's giving me a reaction initially. I'm just waiting for a couple green candles in a row, couple red candles in a row, and then I'm just market shorting there. So I have the way that I have this set up right now is for a $15 move, take profits, which with two contracts would be $600. And I have the stop loss set up so every $5 move, it moves up, it moves towards my direction by $4. I believe that's how I have it set up. So it's like a trailing stop. it's gonna consolidate for a bit, but it did what I wanted it to do, so I'm not getting not getting too scared of it. I am this this is an interesting concept. It's kind of random, but you see what just like a little tidbit, maybe it helps some people out. You see what I'm doing right here? I mean, it so a task has this thing where if I hold the middle button, the scroll wheel, and then I move it up, you can see what your P&L would be based on wherever you dragged it to. In this case, it would be a loss if I'm pulling it up here. I'm I'm basically telling myself, you know what? You took your trade. This is the loss that you would have, and just be comfortable with that. It could be a loss. In this case, it would be what this like $100 times two, so it would be a couple $100 loss. And it's just something like I'm just accepting it because I don't want to. Because of course, while it's consolidating here and not directly going to my target, I'm kind of like I don't know. Do I like it? Do I like it? But it did everything I wanted it to do, and I'm just kind of, you know what? If it's a $200 loss, it's a $200 loss. But I'm not gonna move. I'm not gonna try to get scared and get out break even. I'm not going to I'm not going to move my stop or anything like that. I'll just trust it. And yeah, there's a $15 move, which also had the confluence with the local pull that was getting respected. So um, as we start going super fast here to get through the middle stuff, you can see I screenshotted it, put it in my journal. It's very important. You got to know why you're winning trades, why you're losing trades. And I will show a loss. I do have a loss. Do have a loss later, so it's not always only wins. Let me see. We can go over Bitcoin a little bit, depending on how fast I get through this. I made this so it's only 9 minutes and 20 seconds long, so let's get through it. And hopefully I don't pause too often. So now we are coming down to the kickback zone. So until it's disrespected, then this is always support for me. This pull has been respected. It got respected perfectly for the top here. Now we're at the kickback. Now it's getting it tapped perfectly on the 5-4. So potentially looking for a long, but I am just trying to find some confluence. You can see I did a 3 pull here, and that is basically just looking at this investment here after the high was put in, this consolidation before it dropped again. I'm just taking it from the high to the low up to the candle that came with a momentum that broke its range. That's all I'm doing for this 3 pull. It got respected really well right here, and I'm looking for the second tier targets down here. But I also have this channel in mind where we're coming down this channel on the 1 minute. It's pretty impulsive, so I'm not trying to necessarily catch a knife. I am waiting for some kind of confirmation. So first, I have the target zone that I'm looking for it to hit. Then I'm going to be waiting for some kind of local market structure break here on XV. Right, so I'm looking for a local pull where I get a 3-4, and then I'm going to look for a kickback there after a market structure break, which we're getting that as well. And the other thing that we're getting is price has moved, price has pushed above this channel that it's been in. So all good things for me to potentially feel good about getting in on a retrace for a long. Right, so it's coming down into our area. And at this point, that's why, because let's just go back a little bit. I missed this explanation a little bit. So one of the trades I always look for when New York opens is after the 5-minute candle, the first 5-minute candle is finished, I look for an IB sweep of the low or the high. In this case, we came and did a massive sweep of the low, but we still closed above it. So I'm potentially, like, I'm also eyeing, with everything else I mentioned, I'm also eyeing this reclaim of the IB low here, potentially. Like, I was waiting for a little, like, I would have loved for it to come just a little bit lower here, but it seemed to me like it was getting held up by bulls who were wanting to support a reclaim of the IB low. I put a limit up there. It got tapped into pretty quickly there. I'm moving my stop down here to one of these order blocks that would be below where my kickback support would be, but the trailing stop is gonna move it up anyway. So we're gonna kind of go against my trailing stop because I do recognize that it could come back down here again, but luckily it didn't. Got another $15 move. So yep, another 600 there. And only 9:47, so it's only been the first 15 minutes. Now, I do take a loss here soon, so you can see I'm not perfect, but got another pull here, respecting 3-4, just kind of waiting on this, waiting, like I could potentially get in again, but I want to wait. I want to wait for market structure breaks and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. It's just telling me, you know what, we're trending down. We haven't broken any market structure. Now I'm finding kind of a new type of channel that we're building. Just keeping my eye on that. Now at this point, there wasn't really any market structure. Like there was this tiny little order block it got over. But I've decided for me personally, that's not going to be good enough for me to classify as some kind of market structure break. The other thing is we had just missed this IB -1 and 1236 target of mine. So it wasn't since it was an IB day and we spent over 20 minutes inside 5, 10 feet. Okay. I guess it was just under 20 minutes that we spent inside it, but I definitely wanted these to tap, so that's why I've marked out this general zone here. So I'm just waiting to see what happens. If I get a market structure break and still not getting it. Oh, the other thing, if you notice, like I was kind of ready to jump in there. I had an area I was ready for boxing out because we did react from my zone of interest. So you can see I pulled a little scalp pull just locally. It took the high by a little bit. It wasn't very convincing, but essentially, yeah, we have reacted from from my standpoint, a higher time frame area of interest, and now I'd be looking for the entry on a lower time frame, which would be this kickback zone here. But the other thing that I'm going to wait for is two of these. I want to see two green candles in a row coming off of it, and then I'll enter. So in this case, didn't do that, so no reason to enter. Even though it could have been good for what I wanted to see, that was just one way that I avoid losses. Because if it got a reaction with two green candles, I would have entered that. Still could have been a loss, but it would have been higher probability for me. Just tells me just a quick little, you know, instead of just blind setting a limit, it tells me, you know, there's other traders that are interested in this too. It's not just me. Right? So not quite sure what we're doing here at this point. I'm just kind of following along. Got a new little channel. We do have 10 a.m. news too. I believe this is like a Fed Chair Powell and a maybe Jolt's job openings, something like that. So you can see with the crazy candles here, that's what like a big volatility news can kind of do to these candles sometimes. And yeah, I just have a local pull here to where the kind of news momentum started on this pivot here, and it's respecting the 3-4 really nicely. So I've marked out a box right here for the kickback zone. And I believe I'll slow it down here. So I got a local, you know, just another local pull for Confluence to come down here into the a little lower, but into the kickback. And so we got an initial reaction, right? I'm still waiting. It even you know, I back tested this channel again, which is nice, but like I said, I want to wait for some kind of, even like locally, I want to wait for some kind of market structure break as well. So we did that here, come into a 3-4. And yeah, now we've come down here. So play again. Come down to the local kickback. Now, so what I literally just broke the rule that I just explained here, and I just got a little bit overeager, got a little bit overconfident here. I did not wait for my 2 green candles in a row. All I had was one, and you can see, you know, wait for me at least, like on the time frames that I'm trading on here, waiting for the 2 of these XV candles in a row, it just tells me, like I said, it tells me I'm not the only one looking for a trade here. There's other people interested. And then if I know that there's other people interested and I kind of like hop on their wave once I see the wave, then it's a lot higher probability. And what ends up happening here, I just got a little overexcited. I didn't follow my own rule and price just came straight through. Stop me out here. Took about a $400 loss there. It's okay because we had 2 $600 wins, so we're still up for the day. But yeah, it was a little disappointed at myself because that's just not, it's not a rule that I want to be breaking, and I deserve that loss. So journaling it for later. And if you haven't seen my other video about taking a 20-minute break after a loss, that's what I'm doing here. I'm just marking out the time where I took the loss basically, and then I just leave my desk. I'll even go do something else. So I have, yeah, I cut out the 20-minute break, but now we're back. We have some new price action here after I got back. I took my loss around here on the 1 minute. So now we've come down to here, just looking for some confluence to help me understand the current low, and if it's essentially if it's a good place to look for a retracement, if I'm satisfied with a low. Got a nice pull here, a scalp pull that reacted perfectly from the 1, 2, 3, 6, and then there was some impulse fibs that also came to the 2, 8, 3, 2. I feel decent about it. Gotta look for the right setup now. So there's potentially a setup right here, but I don't want to take. I don't really want to trust a trade right off just 1, 3, 4 like this. Even though it's giving, like, it looks nice. It's backtesting this corrective channel. It's tapping to the 3, 4. It has a local market structure break too, but I just took a loss. I want to be extra careful, and this is just a 3, 4. I don't even know if this is a respected pull yet at this point. I mean, it looks like it's respecting it, but this is the first tap of any level off this pull, so I don't want to trust it too much yet. And the other thing that I notice here, if I do a pull from the origin, if this is some kind of corrective move, 0 AB, and then this is a C, it could be an expanded flat. And if it's an expanded flat, I can do a 3 pull from here to here to here, and then look for the 832 to the 618, 716, 832 area. So that's what this is giving me, and then I'm gonna box out that area. It also has confluence with right here with that -1 of the original pull, which, yeah, now you know, 3, 4 reaction, then comes lower. Now I can look at it as a respected pull, and I have confluence with a different pull as well. And on a higher time frame, this scalp pull from the low up to this ledge, we're in that kickback zone as well. So I've got 3 different things lining up. We have started to break market structure to start coming back up on the bullish side. So the 1 minute market structure is still bullish as far as I'm concerned, and potentially have a long setup here. But I'm just waiting on it for now. And I changed my channel to be like a flat channel where I'm pulling it from the origin of A up to the 4. This would be super wonky to actually count it as a 5 wave, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm pulling it to the 4C and then up to the A. So origin of A, 4 of C, and then A. And then what I'm looking for is if the flat is over, then the flat is over once it breaks out of this channel. Not what I'm looking for, and you can see we broke out of the channel there. So I can feel better about this flat being over, and I'm just waiting for a retrace. We came back inside it a bit, then we came back above, and we weren't immediately dropping back down. So for me, enough time frames of things were hitting. I got another retrace, so I decided to get in right there. So this one plays out pretty nicely. Just right away, you know. It's an advantage of that's an advantage of waiting, really like waiting to take the trade until momentum shifts to your favor on a lower time frame, because then you don't have to you don't have to wait through a bunch of consolidation stuff. And if you're right, then price will typically just go straight towards your direction right away, which is ideal for me, or for a scalper, I would say. It did come down one more time, but basically just going to be looking to take profit at these at the scalp targets from this pull, since it was respected. Just looking for a scalp trade here. At the moment, I don't really have any indication if this can turn into a larger move up or not. So everything just looks pretty corrective. Like this, the low that we just made here in 1 minute, obviously it came down much further than the high of this first move. So this can't be some kind of like 5-wave move. But at the moment, it just looks kind of corrective, and I don't want to take any chances, so just take my profits. Right. And I believe we have one more after this. Doing the same thing, you know, same exact thing. Looking for a local scalp pull that's being respected. I find one here. We got a 3-4 reacting perfectly from the 3-4. So I'm just going to be marking out the kickback and see if price comes down here. Then I might be interested in looking for a local market structure shift and an entry. Now you can see I drew out, I mentioned earlier that the price action on the 1 minute here looked very corrective. So I drew out a corrective channel. And the way that a corrective channel works is essentially, as long as it's being respected, you would expect, you would plan for it to continue to be respected. So, I'm going to kind of wait for, I would like to see it come down to the bottom again, come down to the channel bottom. So just waiting for that. Now we finally tap it here. And I have local scalp fibs here that were respected. 3-4 kickback down to the -1 of the pull. Got a local channel here. Okay, 2. So doing a lot of the same stuff, just on different time frames, and making sure everything matches up. So for me, this corrective move on this lower time frame here, just on XV, this corrective move will be over once price pushes back above this channel, and then ideally I can get in on a back test of it. It's already done what I wanted it to do on the 1 minute, tapping the bottom of the channel. Good reaction, cool. Not quite the break that I want to see yet. It closed one candle above, and that's it. So I want to see a little bit. More than that. Right, we're at the channel bottom here in the 1 minute. All eyes on that for me, but we're still holding it. And this was definitely an aggressive entry, and uh I would say it was just really based on how that channel bottom was respected again. Watch it again. Like it taps into it again, and then it just starts making a move up like that. It felt right, but this is not my favorite trade. It does end up working out for me, um, but you know, when I rewatched this, I felt like I should have waited a little bit longer. I would have had a worse entry, but I to me, like I said, this does not look like a super clean, convincing break of that channel. Um, with that said, I should have waited a little bit longer for this to break it, and then I should have been interested in a back test of that. I'm a little disappointed that I did that. I feel like that's a little more aggressive, and that other times if I did something similar, it might not work out. So, especially since I already took a loss on this day, I feel I should have been really careful. I should have been more careful. Right? See right here. Now we actually broke out of that channel. That would have been this looks much cleaner than this. And as we tap it right here, we tap it right here, and then start to push off of it. Start printing a second candle after the push off from it. I should have entered right there. Yes, it would have been a worse entry, but a lot more things would have been confirmed in this scenario. And overall, I think this is what I would tell anybody else to wait for, and this is what I wish I should have waited for. This could have totally gone against me. I think I got in a little early. It did play out. And this is one, as you'll see at the end here, this is one where I definitely could have waited. I definitely could have used an acceleration channel. Hey, Maddie, yeah. This is a this on the bottom right. It's a 5 range XV chart, which is proprietary to ATAS, but it's very similar to if you use TradingView. It's very similar to the using 15R, very similar to 15R. You just have to custom make a time frame, but you know you could use 10 or 20. I just really like, especially especially if prices being volatile. I like that I can see these market structure breaks that I look for. I can see them more clearly on this, where I can't see them all on the 1 minute. So that's why I really like them. Since I am a scalper, I look for setups on a you know, as low time frame as I can, so that I can have really tight invalidations. I like seeing what I can see here that I can't see on the 1 minute. Yeah, if you don't use a task, just use 15R on TradingView. So I take my profit here. This time for a $20 move, I believe, so I can get a nice 800 on this last one. Overall, a good day. 4 wins, 4 wins, 1 loss, but the wins were both the 2 wins at the beginning were 600. The 2 wins at the end were 800. The loss was only 400. So kept the losses small, the wins bigger. Really nice to see. A couple slip ups like this one right here where I should have waited a little bit more, and then on the loss I didn't wait for the 2 green candles either. So little mini slip ups for me that, you know, sometimes when price is just moving fast and maybe I don't, it is what it is. But I'm not perfect, and yeah, getting better as well. So we got to take profit here, and yeah. So I know JC will tell me that I should have used the acceleration channel, and that's why I even drew it up afterward. I was like, yeah, of course the one time I'm not using it. And essentially, if you haven't seen my video on the acceleration channels, just look for it. It's the one about how to make sure that you know you can hold on to a trade for as long as possible. You can look for it on my channel. But yeah, essentially, as long as this channel isn't broken, then there's no reason to take profit. You're just utilizing momentum to be able to say, hey, you know what? Momentum is going up. I don't need to take profit too early. And in this case, even if I exited when it broke the channel, which, you know, the way that the channel works is you would expect one more high after breaking the channel, but even if I just was really conservative and I didn't take my profit until after I broke the channel, I could have held it for another $20 move, which would have been another $800. My mistake not using it this time, but it was still a pretty solid day, so can't be too hard on myself. But yeah, hope you guys learned something. And if you have any questions, you can ask in chat here. No problem, Raven. I don't even know if Zach is still here, but I'll go over a couple things about what I'm looking for on Bitcoin. And I basically just have several timeframes of bearish, bullish, support, resistance boxes. So I'll go ahead and explain how I got into all of these. So just give me a moment here and kind of hide these, and then I will redo them. If you don't care about it, then no worries. You can just take off, and hope you have a great weekend. If you're interested, then I will do this. I won't spend more than 5 minutes on this. Try to be quick about it. So I like my 30-minute time frame because New York starts on a 30-minute interval, so that's why I always use 30-minute. I'm gonna start with a pull to give me a higher time frame bias, and I'm gonna go ahead and use this ledge here. Use this ledge because for me, this is telling me that a savvy trader would have not invested during the first leg down while we were dumping. They would have waited for a reaction first. They saw a reaction, then they started investing long positions down here. Right? And then this kickback zone is going to be their area of support. We'll want to go ahead and support this zone to get up to their targets. What are their targets? Generally speaking, the target is the -1. But I would say anything between the 706 and the -1, if it's really strong, it can come up to the -126. This is our target zone for high time frame resistance. Why is it resistance? Because it's the area where the traders who invested into this move, who invested long in this move, this is where they're going to want to take their profits. So scale out a little bit at the 3-4. Ultimately, it holds. Lots of respect here in the 3-4 in the 178, and then comes up to 706 for perfect reaction. Absolutely perfect reaction there, which is beautiful. I will mark this as high time frame support. And the time frame is just relative. For swing traders, yeah, you're not going to call this high time frame on the 30-minute, but for me, it's high time frame because I'm going to combine different time frames of investments. So we have an investment here, okay? Where would be another investment? Well, let's look for another. Let's look for another swing low with a pull that's getting respect. and I'm going to hide the first one. So I'm going to pick the swing low here, pull it up to an area that's getting some kind of respect. So pulling up to around here, we can see loads of respect in the kickback area. 178, 34, lots of respect. So this looks really nice. And if we need price to come to our high time frame resistance, then we do have to come all the way up here and choose up to here. It will only help so much if I'm not picking that level and I only had it up to here and said this is my medium time frame resistance. Well, I want price to hit both the high time frame and medium time frame targets at the same time. So I need to I need to go up to the 1, 2, 3, 6 on here. And I'll call that I'll call that medium time frame resistance. Or if we didn't want to do it like that and we wanted to pull it up high to the ledge, like I did here, this ledge, then it would give us a little more breathing room. So we could do it like that. And then still I would say very, very good respect here on the kickback, the 178. Ideally, it would come to the 3-4. That's what we could have done, pull like that for, but that's good enough respect. I even respected the 3-2 perfectly on the way back down on the first move down. Perfect. So that's the area. Again, I would label this medium time frame support. Something is this stream still working or something happening? Did it just cut out? Not. I'll just keep going. Right, medium time frame support here. This out. Red. Okay, so cool. We have 2 time frames of targets meeting together that helped us find that high today. Of course, this is hindsight. I totally get it, but can't do anything about price that already happened, so it is what it is. And then we're gonna find a low time frame pull too. So we'll pick an even lower time frame. We had our high time frame, medium time frame. Now we'll take a swing low here, pull it up to either this ledge or to the wick high. We don't necessarily know what's going to be respected better. Obviously, I know in hindsight because I can see it, But let's say we did it the same exact way and pick the ledge. Pick this ledge, not the overall high, but the ledge. And then we throw in the extended targets because the regular targets don't help us get into our zone up here. Only the extended targets do. So we'll draw a low time frame box like that. And I probably would have done the same thing like last one, honestly, where I would have pulled it up higher in order to like give a little bit better of a zone that encompassed all of them. Low time frame resistance. Why is it low time frame resistance? Because it's the area where the people investing long in this move would be taking their profits. So we have low time frame, medium time frame, and high time frame resistance area all here. Well, Kip, that's way too messy. I don't want to see all that crap on the chart. Cool. We don't have to. We're just going to be interested in the area where all 3 of those zones meet. So we hide the other stuff, and we're just left with our, call it all time frame resistance. And that is what helps us refine a zone to be interested in a short. And then locally speaking here, what do we have? Well, let me throw back on, we already had a reaction here. So I'm going to throw back on the box for the high time frame resistance. But I am just going to, since we already got a reaction from the 706, it's going to take it up to between the 832 and the 1. So still have an area of interest here higher on a respected pull. And we can go ahead and hide this. Now what can we do to help us get there? Well, we have a pull here from the low up to this ledge. And we can see what's getting respected more. Is it the high here that's getting respected more? Is it some kind of ledge? Maybe we can even pull it down a little bit to get that 3-4 to tap here. Just make sure it's a nice respected pull. So we can see pulling it down here around this area where the 3-4s get respecting perfectly. Also just gave it a near perfect tap of the 618 there. I probably wouldn't be interested in the short there. It just depends. Depends on what else you're looking for. Generally speaking, I would just be more long biased on Bitcoin and looking for some kind of long setup. So, yeah, the extended targets of this pull do help us get into here. So go ahead and mark this out: medium time frame resistance. So we already have an area where some of our timeframes are kind of, we have this darker shaded area where timeframes are kind of coming together for us. And right, and then let's make sure to box this out. So the bulls will want to support this zone here, this kickback. The bulls who invested into this move here that this pull is trying to give a picture of, the ones who invested long into this move here, this is where they're gonna want to look to support the move. So if price does come down, here, do something like this. Could be a good long opportunity. Take all the way up here. But you don't want to blind long this because it could just disrespect it. So if it's disrespected, then we look for the next zone of interest, our higher time frame support with the same exact method. This was our higher time frame. This is support on a lower time frame. This is support on a higher time frame. And that's it. What could help us get down there? Well, it depends on how it happens. So if this is a low that we're putting in, well, I wouldn't like this pull. I had it earlier. I looked at it earlier, like, pulling, around wherever it's respecting the 3-4. Pick this one, this momentum pivot here. Momentum pivot this is the pivot that led to the local break in market structure here. So this is the momentum pivot. Okay. But it's already disrespecting the kickback. So I wouldn't have wanted to see that. If I would have been to have a more bearish bias, I would have wanted this to hold here and then for price to come down here. It's disrespecting it. So probably even more be looking for longs. That doesn't mean long right now, but it does mean if price does come down here that it makes it a little bit more interesting for me. But of course, this is Bitcoin. Bitcoin's been super bullish, so it would not surprise me at all to just hold these little levels and just keep SR flipping all of these to get up here. Really not bearish on Bitcoin. I don't really see any reason to be bearish. If I go to log. Ooh, if I go to log and I'll throw on my trusty log channel fibs for this move here. Let me go to a higher time frame. And let me hide some of this stuff. This was a really important channel to break. Because what it means when you break this channel is that you're in a 3. So 1, 2, and then breaking the channel tells you you're in a 3. So if you're in a 3, why are you trying to short? Because you're still gonna have a 4 and a 5. Wait for the 4 and 5 to get put in, and then often what you'll get is a back test of the channel as a 4, and then you can look for a 5. So I think something like this could be really cool. I'm not saying it happens. I'm just saying if it does, it'd be a really nice opportunity. Basically, look, I'd be looking for the 706 of the 832 of this fib channel to provide some kind of resistance. But just wait on it. Like, I don't think it would happen immediately. I think it would take some time to develop. So wait to see if the levels are being respected with some, like, wicks getting shut down. And then you could potentially look for a short. This would be in the 70 up to like 80K area, depending on timing. But ultimately, I wouldn't be that bearish on it. It would be a short to come back down here. So maybe since this looked more like a flat, maybe this is more like a zigzag, like that. Speculative, super speculative, but oops. Sorry about that. That's what I'll be looking for. So until we get up here, I'd say for low time frame setups, I would just be more long biased. Yeah, I'm really interested in this area here. I've shown this before, but there's a like this in log. This confluence here with our impulse fibs on log going from the 0 to the 1 to the 2, right here, how that like the 706 and the 832 kind of come together perfectly right here, depending on timing. It's kind of what I'm looking at. And then if it gets a strong reaction and we do this, say this exact scenario happens, right? Then that would mean that this is a 1, 2, and this would be a 3 coming down a 4. Then I could pull this fib up here. And then we could be looking for like these areas up here. 200K. That's kind of what I'm looking for a bullish scenario. If we were to come back inside this channel, then I would my bias for being more bullish would potentially shift. We could always come to midline, but I think it really would want to just tap the channel top. Yeah, again, this is like super speculative. I have no idea where, when, exactly, like what, like all of this is speculative. It just gives you, if we do anything like this, but depending on where it happens, then you can kind of do it for yourself. I'd want to see it respected first to even like that idea. I want to see if the fibs are respected. We don't know that yet because we're not there yet. So, yep. Anyway, that's all I'm gonna kind of do for Bitcoin now. I literally have no bearish case at the moment, except for, I don't really like. I mean, we can always just put in a big long range. It's like literally the only bearish case that makes sense because it's kind of like what gold, like gold. If any of you guys have followed gold at all, it's kind of similar to what gold did. Like this is what I'm talking about. Like this big giant range, like on a weekly. In that case, we're putting in like a high here. Well, we have taken it. We didn't do it on gold, so like we ended up taking the lows again barely, and then came back up for new highs. That would pretty much be my most bearish case on Bitcoin where it stands right now. But I don't really see that happening. It's just something to be aware of potentially. Getting back inside that channel would be a huge tell for me for potentially maybe the hyper bullish setup where Bitcoin's going to 200K. Like maybe that's not the best case anymore. But yep. Until then, it's kind of what I'm going to be looking for. So yeah, I'm gonna call it. But I hope you guys have a great weekend, and yeah, see you guys next time. Adios.